Looking for some good, wholesome fun? Come to Your Turn Gaming for all your gaming needs. We offer Magic the Gathering, Force of Will, vintage video games, board games, and much more. Your Turn Gaming is open Tuesday through Thursday, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., and on Friday and Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. And don't forget to join us on Tuesdays for Cash Payout Bingo. For questions, call April at 559-2460. That's 559-2460.
With approved credit plus $3.99 dealer processing fee, 2016 offer valid through 9/30. Yeti cooler value 300, tumbler value 30. See dealer for details.
Get the hottest deals at the coolest prices at Walker Jones Toyota in Waycross. Through September, get 0% financing on 10 new 2016 Toyota models with no payments till December. Plus, get a Yeti cooler when you purchase any new truck or a Yeti tumbler with any new car. And get Walker Jones limited lifetime powertrain warranty and Toyota care maintenance on every new Toyota we sell. Visit Walker Jones Toyota in Waycross today or shop online at walkerjonestoyota.com.
Gather your family and friends and come to the 41st Annual Odom Homecoming this Saturday, October 1st. The fun and festivities begin at 10 a.m. with the Odom Homecoming Parade, followed by the platform ceremonies at 11. Also beginning at 11 a.m. is the children's play area, featuring all kinds of fun rides along with a zip line, bungee jumping, and a chicken show. New this year at Odom Homecoming is a magic show. It's Doc Thornton's Wonder Show, a unique and unusual program of family entertainment. And, of course, it will be entertainment all afternoon on the big stage, including Gina's Gems at 12:45 and Corky's World Class Karate at 1:15, followed by singers and dancers all afternoon. Then at 4 p.m., it's the Magic Show. Make sure you bring your appetizers. There will be all types of food booths to satisfy your hunger cravings. Be sure to check out the arts and crafts booths filled with great items for you, your home, and for gift giving. So come on down to Odom, Georgia this Saturday, October 1st for the 41st Annual Odom Homecoming, the little town with a big heart.
This is Bill Parker with Parker Insurance and Realty, your locally owned and operated independent insurance agency. We specialize in home, auto, commercial, ATV, motorcycle, and boat insurance. Being an independent agency, we have the ability to find you the best price available to suit your insurance need. At Parker Insurance and Realty, we can help you package your insurance or find the specialty insurance required to get you covered. We are your source for any real estate needs, whether buying or selling. We can help you. Give us a call today so we can discuss your insurance or real estate needs. Parker Insurance and Realty, 265 South Macon Street, 427-9345. That's 427-9345.
Get yours today. The WIFO WLOP Football Pocket Schedule. Keep up with the complete football schedules for Wayne County Yellow Jackets, Georgia Southern Eagles, University of Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, Atlanta Falcons, and Jacksonville Jaguars. The Big Dog Country and Fox Sports Radio football pocket schedules are free and are available at Jones Drugs and Jones Prescription Shop, Jesup Western Sizzlin', David's Clothing, Interstate Credit Union, Murphy's Builder Supply, Neesmith Chevy Buick GMC, and Kitchen Tune-Up located inside your Jesup Sears store. Pick up your free WIFO WLOP football pocket schedule at any of those locations. That way you'll know what's going on each and every football weekend. Your sports leaders for Southeast Georgia, Big Dog Country, WIFO 105.5 FM, and Fox Sports Radio, WLOP 1370 AM The Buzz. Bringing you exciting live play-by-play football action all season long.
Local news on WIFO.
It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, the Wayne County jury deliberated for over 3 hours, but when they came back for the verdicts in the murder case that they were selected to listen to and rendered the verdict is guilty on all 8 counts. The defendant, Eugenia Lynn Shell, guilty of murdering her own mother, 73-year-old Willie Jo Vaughn, whose dead body was pulled from the Altamar River in the back seat of her own vehicle with her walking cane, a pillow, a Bible, locked in the back seat, as was most likely driven into the Altamar River, then rocks put on the trunk of the vehicle to keep it out of view. Eugenia Shell took the stand in her own defense on Wednesday. Adamantly stated time and time again that the last time she was at her mother's house was back in October when she moved out of her mother's house, which is located at 722 Beaver Creek Road in Wayne County. Her defense attorney, Jason Nix, asked her point blank, "Did you kill your mother?" To which she answered, "No, I did not. I loved my mother." But the state's prosecutor, Assistant TA John B. Johnson, under cross-examination, asked her how all those witnesses who knew her and her mother all those years could be coming to not telling the truth about seeing Eugenia at the house on March 26th, the day she went missing, saw her driving her mother's vehicle with her mother in the back seat the day she went missing. Johnson asked Shell, "Are you saying all these witnesses came to court and simply lied to this jury?" Shell says that's not what she is saying. She says they simply didn't see her because she stuck to her story that she was not at her mother's house since October. Once again, the jury spent 2 days listening to the evidence and the closing arguments, in which Johnson again told the jury that the case is circumstantial, but it's about motive, opportunity, and malice, and the defendant had all three, stating that the motive was follow the money, as Shell had been evicted from her mother's home with a restraining order, had been denied custody of her child, and also denied disability. When she went to Waycross to receive disability, was informed she owed $62,000 to the Social Security Department for receiving custody payments for a child she did not have custody of. Throughout the trial, neighbors, friends, and the defendant's two sisters told the jury how their mother feared Eugenia Shell, as she told many times that if anything ever happens to her, be sure to look at Eugenia, who has threatened her life several times. Sadly, the threat was carried out by the defendant. She was found guilty of murdering her mother by a jury Wednesday. Sentencing is set for a later date with Superior Court Judge Stephen Kelly, who presided over the case. WIFO-FM in the courtroom when the verdicts were handed down, and afterwards was able to get the thoughts of Assistant DA John B. Johnson, who prosecuted the case for the state. He says the state is pleased with the jury's verdict.
We're very pleased with the outcome. There were a lot of little things that go into making up a circumstantial case. Police officers law enforcement, GBI, the local sheriff's office, did a great job of interviewing witnesses, getting that information, finding those little bits of evidence that go together to make that case.
Interesting. She took the stand in her own defense and adamantly said she wasn't there, but like I said, all the witnesses were neighbors of her mother's and hers for many, many years. All said they saw her, all said they saw her in the car. But she adamantly continued to stick to her story that she wasn't there.
That's true. From the beginning, she said, it wasn't me, I wasn't there. Even in light of knowing that there were at least 5 witnesses who personally knew her and saw her there. Out of the first 12 witnesses we presented yesterday, more than half of them recognized her, knew she was there, and heard threats from her, and had heard from her mother telling them that she had been threatening her, including her preacher at the Odom Church of God.
Yeah, listen to the testimony. I think it was obviously clear to the jury that the mother definitely feared the daughter.
That was an absolute, yes. The mother was very much afraid of the daughter. But being a mama, there were times when she tried to resolve that, tried to be nice to the daughter, but the defendant in this case just was mean and wasn't going to let that happen.
From the beginning, you said it was motive, opportunity, and malice. And the motive, you said, was money. The fact that she went for disability, didn't get it. They told her she owed $62,000 in back Social Security payments that she was getting, thinking that she had custody of the child when she didn't have custody of the child. So you really think, and plus she wanted the house, is what you said. So money, definitely a motive here.
Well, it was, and that old rule, follow the money, and that happens in this particular case. You have that. You also have the fact that she wanted to, because of that, to get custody of her own child, which had been given to her mother, which would have eased some of that pain in terms of having to pay back $62,000 plus. And, of course, she had lost her disability claim with Social Security. All of that goes to make a good motive in this case. She, of course, had the opportunity to kill her mother. She was out there that day and seen driving the car, seen with her mother in the car, and then she disappeared for 3 days, disappeared for 3 days with no contact. We know that her mother was killed after 9:15 on March 26th and before 8 o'clock the next morning. And during the nighttime, there was a trip. Mama had a sweater on, and then when the car was found, of course, lights came on, windshield wipers came on when we put electricity to it. Mama couldn't get out of the car. She was locked into the back. And, of course, she, as far as I'm concerned, she drowned.
Yeah, you told the jury from the get-go you can't prove how the car got in the water, but do you have any theories on how the car, do you think she drove that? The window of the driver's side was down. Do you think she drove it in and got out? Or
my personal opinion in this is that she drove the car, and as we all do when we stop a car, she put it in park, left the ignition on, left everything the way it was, crawled out the window. The car was starting to float with the trunk. She put rocks on, went and got rocks, put them on the trunk of the car to make it sink. And I suspect she had someone that she called to meet her and came pick her up because it was Upper County Landing. That's a good ways away.
Sentence is going to take place later, what is she looking at? How much time can she serve for all these counts, all guilty on all 8 counts?
Well, the murder case, of course, is the murder charge would be a life sentence, and that will be with or without parole. And then you have concurrent or consecutive sentences on all the others, which are in excess of 60 to 80 years.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
And again, those comments of the prosecutor assistant DA John B. Johnson. We're going to come back, let you hear some of the closing arguments, some of the statements that were made by both attorneys to the jury before the verdicts were rendered. We'll come back, take a look at the closing arguments right after this word from our sponsor and other commercial messages, so please stay tuned.
Communication is the key when it comes to business, especially your financial business. That's why Altamaha Federal Credit Union makes communication a priority, making banking easier for you. AFCU has money to lend, and it's easy to apply online or with a quick phone call. Your local credit union with open lines of communication. Altamaha Federal Credit Union, Jesup, Scriven, and Ludowici. Visit altamaha.org. Equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Marcus Peden with Sonic Drive-In and inviting you for our quarter-pound Sonic cheeseburgers for $2 every Tuesday. And also come see us every night, Monday through Thursday from 5 to close for our boneless wings, buy one, get one free. Flavors ranging from garlic parmesan to the mild all the way up to the extreme heat with hot honey and pineapple habanero. And don't forget our $1.49 large iced coffees every morning on your morning drink stop. So take your Green Mountain coffee however you like it. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Hi, my name is Garrett Pye. I'm a physical therapist at Smart Physical Therapy. Physical therapy is a conservative approach to a healthy and pain-free living. Here at Smart, you are guaranteed one-on-one time every visit, every day. I, Garrett Pye, specialize in headaches, vertigo, and advanced manual therapy skills to address any soft tissue or joint-related pain. Whether it's your back, neck, knee, foot, ankle, doesn't matter. Come see me, Garrett Pye at Smart Physical Therapy. We are located at 1251 South 1st Street, next door to David O'Keefe Storage Buildings. Please call Smart Physical Therapy at 912-559-2071 and ask for me, Garrett Pye. Again, the phone number is 912-559-2071. And remember, it's your choice on which facility you choose, so call or come by Smart Physical Therapy today.
Smart Physical Therapy, located in Jesup at 1251 South 1st Street. Give them a call at 912-559-2071.
Before the jury began deliberations on Wednesday, they heard the closing arguments from both attorneys in the case. Defense attorney Jason Nix went first, followed by the assistant DA John B. Johnson. Nix told the jury in his closing arguments that it was their duty to determine credibility of the witnesses, and he told the jury that he believes that law enforcement in the state were simply influenced by the Wayne County rumor mill, that people began to talk about Willie Joe Vaughn's disappearance, and rumors circulated that his client, Eugenia Shell, had to have something to do with it. Nix told the jury that there was no sign of a struggle, no injuries to Willie Joe Vaughn. She wasn't tied up or injured. She was perfectly calm the night on March 26 around 9:30 p.m. when she purchased an order by telephone. Nix told the jury that it's possible that Willie Joe Vaughn, who he told the jury visited the river many times to remember her late husband, who they testified was a fisherman and loved the river. Nix says that Willie Joe Vaughn just went up to the river that night, got into the backseat of the vehicle and took a nap, and somehow the car went into the river. Nix told the jury that it's possible. Nix says he admits to the jury that his client and mother had a bad relationship, but he says she never cursed her mother and was never violent towards her mother. He told the jury that the testimony of her ex-husband, Dr. Darrell Thomas, was just a vindictive act of a mad husband who hates his ex-wife, was mad because he had to pay her a lot of alimony money. Nix says the two sisters of Eugenia who testified did so because they want someone to blame for their mother no longer being here. Nix ended by stating the state did not prove their case, and he asked for not guilty verdicts in the case. Assistant DA John B. Johnson prosecuted the case. In his closing arguments, he emphasized that all the witnesses testified were either neighbors or good friends of the victim, Willie Joe Vaughn, knew who her daughter Eugenia Shell was, and testified that they saw her at the house on March 26th, the day that Willie Joe Vaughn went missing. Friends also saw her driving her mother's car that day with Willie Joe Vaughn in the back seat. When she disappeared, they became concerned, began searching, and realized that Willie Joe Vaughn's vehicle was no longer at the house, and no one had seen Willie Joe Vaughn since, and that for several days with her mother missing, the defendant was nowhere to be found and had no concern. Johnson told the jury that, again, the state doesn't know why or how Willie Joe Vaughn got in the backseat of her car that day, But Johnson says this is not a suicide. That's not a possibility in this case. Johnson told the jury that it takes only one witness to prove a case, but in this instance, the state has multiple witnesses coming forward, telling the jury what they saw, what they knew, and they all knew that Willie Joe Vaughn feared her daughter, Eugenia, because her daughter on more than one occasion threatened to kill Willie Joe Vaughn. Johnson says she takes the stand and says that I wasn't at the house on March 26th after 4 or 5 witnesses, people that she knows, testify that they saw her there at the house. Johnson told the jury to follow the money. He says that's the motive in this case, that Eugenia Shell had been evicted from her mother's house, wanted the house because she needed a place to live, and she needed money because her disability was not approved. And oh, by the way, she was told she owed $62,000 of Social Security money that she'd been receiving as they were led to believe she had custody of her own child, which she did not. Johnson told the jury that the defendant was mad and angry, had motive, opportunity, and malice towards her mother, who Johnson told the jury hated her mother, threatened to kill her mother, and did kill her mother on the night of March 26th, the night that Willie Joe Vaughn disappeared and not seen again until her body was pulled from the Altamar River on April the 3rd. Johnson closed once again by telling the jury that only one person in Wayne County ever threatened to kill Willie Joe Vaughn, and that was her own daughter, the defendant. Johnson told the jury that all the evidence in this case points to one person and one person only, and that is the defendant in the case, Eugenia Shell. He asked for guilty verdicts on all 8 counts, and that is what the jury did. Guilty on 2 counts of aggravated stalking, 1 count of making a false statement to police, 1 count of malice murder, 1 count of felony murder, 1 count of false imprisonment, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of making terroristic threats. Again, sentencing to take place at a later date. WIFO film will continue to follow the sentencing of Eugenia Shell, who is now guilty of murdering her own mother, 73-year-old Willie Joe Vaughn. We'll come back with a final news note after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned.
Communication is the key when it comes to business, especially your financial business. That's why Altamaha Federal Credit Union makes communication a priority, making banking easier for you. AFCU has money to lend, and it's easy to apply online or with a quick phone call. Your local credit union with open lines of communication. Altamaha Federal Credit Union. Jesup, Scriven, and Ludowici. Visit altamaha.org. Equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA.
Get ready for some fun mud bogging. The City of Jesup's annual mud bogging contest is Saturday, October 1st at Bill Morris Park. The City of Jesup is looking for participants to fill 9 different classes. Win up to $1,000 in prize money. The mud bog begins at 1 p.m. with gates opening at 10 a.m. Jessup Mud Bog, fun for all ages. Saturday, October 1st at Bill Morris Park in Jessup. Advance tickets and applications at Jessup City Hall, Napa, and Al's Auto Parts are online at jessupga.gov. Call City Hall at 427-1313 for more information.
Gather your family and friends and come to the 41st Annual Odom Homecoming this Saturday, October 1st. The fun and festivities begin at 10 a.m. with the Odom Homecoming Parade, followed by the platform ceremonies at 11. Also beginning at 11 a.m. is the children's play area, featuring all kinds of fun rides along with a zip line, bungee jumping, and a chicken show. New this year at Odom Homecoming is a magic show. It's Doc Thornton's Wonder Show, a unique and unusual program of family entertainment. And, of course, there will be entertainment all afternoon on the big stage, including Gina Gems at 12:45 and Corky's World Class Karate at 1:15, followed by singers and dancers all afternoon. Then at 4 p.m., it's the Magic Show. Make sure you bring your appetizers. There will be all types of food booths to satisfy your hunger cravings. Be sure to check out the arts and crafts booths filled with great items for you, your home, and for gift giving. So come on down to Odom, Georgia this Saturday, October 1st for the 41st Annual Odom Homecoming, the little town with a big heart.
Final note in news, a big drug bust taking place in this area. 16 defendants indicted on federal drug trafficking charges, many from Wayne County in Brunswick, Georgia. 25-count federal indictment unsealed yesterday and returned by a federal grand jury earlier this month charged 16 defendants with drug trafficking and firearm-related offenses. The indictment follows a 2-year organized crime drug enforcement task force investigation into drug trafficking activities within Glenn County, Wayne County, and Ware County, within the Southern District of Georgia and elsewhere, including the Middle District of Georgia, the Northern District of Georgia, the Northern District of Florida, the Eastern District of Tennessee, and the Western District of Virginia. Agents of the ATF, the United States Marshal Service, the DEA, the GBI, and multiple local law enforcement agencies participated in this joint investigation. The indictment alleges that members of the conspiracy used remote-controlled drones to smuggle cell phones to conspirators incarcerated in a Georgia Department of Corrections facility. Conspirators, while incarcerated, used the phones to coordinate, plan, and facilitate drug deals. While incarcerated, they used Facebook and PayPal accounts to coordinate drug deals. Among other things, members of the conspiracy possessed firearms and associated with gangs, including the Bloods, the Gangster Disciples, the Ghostface Gangsters, and the Sonora Cartel, to aid in the receipt and distribution of controlled substances for protection and to promote a climate of fear. The investigation culminated in arrests and search warrants being executed in Glenn County, Wayne County, Ware County, and elsewhere. During this investigation, agents seized over 10 kilograms of crystal meth worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, over 20 firearms, thousands of rounds of ammunition, over $600,000 in cash, and multiple vehicles that were used to promote the criminal activity. Following people have been indicted: Daniel Roger Allo, 45 years of age, of Calhoun, Georgia; 23-year-old Amberly Wright of Dallas, Georgia; 30-year-old Jason Prince of Jesup, Georgia; 42-year-old Miranda Michelle Flowers of Jesup, Georgia; 33-year-old Raymond Jared Wilder, also of Jesup, Georgia; 35-year-old Angela O'Keezy, also of Jesup, Georgia; also 35-year-old Jason Lee of Patterson, Georgia; 30-year-old Angela Pope of Jesup, Georgia; 33-year-old Marquez Moorhead of Memphis, Tennessee; 27-year-old Melvin Jackson of Jesup, Georgia; 29-year-old Lawrence Larry of Jesup, Georgia; 22-year-old Devontae Pittman of Jesup, Georgia; 23-year-old Irvison Fernandez Perez of Jesup, Georgia; 40-year-old John Brian Schuler of Waycross, Georgia; and 44-year-old Robert Lee Taylor of Waycross, Georgia. Upon conviction, most of the defendants face up to 40 years of incarceration, with some facing potential life sentences. U.S. Attorney Tarver emphasized the indictment is only an accusation and not evidence of guilt. The defendants are entitled to a fair trial, during which it will be the government's burden of proof to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Since the U.S. attorneys E. Greg Gilley, Jr. and Tanya Groover are prosecuting the case on behalf of the United States. Again, these indictments handed down yesterday in Brunswick, Georgia. Sheriff John Carter states that the Wayne County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation and Drug Task Force assisted federal agents with the arrest warrants and search warrants executed here in Wayne County. They say much of the information that led to the arrest was provided by the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, the Jesup Police Department, and the Scriven Police Department. Sheriff Carter urges anybody with drug information to simply call the TIP hotline at 912-427-3062. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan saying have a great day.
You've been listening to local news on WIFO.
When further treatment is no longer an option, hospice can provide services to manage symptoms and difficulties caused by illness. Emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual care, as well as support to the families and caregivers, are all part of hospice.